Shit Talker Black. There was a day I went around to those who were saying they're targeted individuals, and I asked most of them if there was a Church of Scientology in the neighborhood or somewhere nearby. So Nappy Head Roots, he said there was a big one close to him. A couple of days later, I went and I said, the next time you interview someone, ask them about Scientology. And he did. And the guy, he knew about Scientology, and he said that Scientology is spiritual and they're here to clear the earth or something like that. When Nappy Head asked him, was he with the Church of Scientology, his phone just cut off. But Nappy Head said, the guy said yes. See, because I know that this is the Church of Scientology. And a lot of, I've had run-ins, but only with pink people. Only with pink people have I had these run-ins. One tried to get me to take my videos down of Scientology. If you're not a troll, take this down. Fuck you. And then there was another one, but he's on Nappy's page. He said, this isn't the Church of Scientology, blah, 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 blah. That's what I heard, because I know it's the Church of Scientology. I did way too much research. Now, I found a page that actually said that Master Farrakhan Muhammad was of the Church of Scientology. And during that time, I grabbed so many notes that it would probably take me a couple of hours to dig through those notes and find them. I've been doing this for days and hours. I make myself not sleep. Because this is about me. And if that's true, that the truth will make me free. Not set me free, but make me free. Now, if the truth will make me free, and all the other knowledge that I have gathered, I'm not free. If things are getting worse, then now I go into research and I find that, I heard some years ago Farrakhan was with the Church of Scientology, but that's not about me. So I figured, why should I care? But it is about me. I had no idea. Melanated ones of America and anywhere else possibly. Now that the Islam Nation, Farrakhan, and has taken like 4,000 or 5,000 people with him to the Church of Scientology, the melanated man, we're in trouble. There was a time that my perps around me would be Asian, but I really don't want to say Asian but they were Asians. But there are many Asians who, would, they befriend me or, just be good to me, They would walk up and they would ask me, am I Asian? And I say I'm Asiatic. Didn't know how much power that brought, but they were really good to me and mannerable and respectful. Some, we tried to talk to each other. They didn't speak English, and I didn't speak their language, but we still had smiles going on between us, But then there are Asians who begin the game off when they see Asians. That's when they say, let the games begin. Maybe they just want me to see some Asians, and then it start. Also in my targeting, I would see these Arabs who are here. They're called Chaldeans, and they are in the Bible. They're bringing Babylon here, and they're in a town called El Cajon. El in Hebrew and in Arabic would be God. That's where they're bringing Babylon to. It would be a lot of pink people, pink teenagers, pink females, pink women, pink men. That's what it would be. And then all of a sudden, the pink start to leave and the melanated ones begin to come. And lately, all the melanated girls, they have natural hair. Whether it's a wig or not, it's natural. So now that I figure it's the Church of Scientology and the Nation of Islam has gone over with them, that takes me back to who they call Master Farrakhan Muhammad, but I always called him Master Farrakhan Muhammad. There are many reasons that I didn't join on to the Nation of Islam, because they are in Chicago. I was a little girl, but many people listen to Elijah Muhammad. And when Malcolm X came out, many people listened to him too. And since Malcolm X never said anything bad about Elijah Muhammad, he always would say, Elijah Muhammad said, and he's a student of Elijah Muhammad, so we listened to both of them and the Black Panthers. And I listened to this as a child. But as I got older, and although I read Elijah Muhammad's books, as I got older, I saw that they were their God. They had a God. His name was Master Farrakhan Muhammad, and I saw that this man was not melanated. And no one had told me anything. It's just, I read a lot. Probably how I got my ass into this damn program, reading Dianetics. So I read a lot. And, through my studies, I was very, very young. In the book, it said that his hair was like wool. And it didn't comprehend what it meant. So I went to ask Frankie J, what does this mean? His hair was like wool. And she began to spell. And I said, hold on. I ran and got a pencil and paper or crayon or something. I set it at the kitchen table. As she spelled the word, I wrote it down. She said DICTIONARY. And it was about 5 or 6 for real. My sister Sharon taught me how to read when I was 4. So I sounded the word out and I said, dictionary? And she said, yes, go get a dictionary. When I looked up the word wool, it had many definitions, but one had Negroid hair. So I knew I was a Negro, but what is Negroid? So I looked that up. And yes, it was me, a Negro. So it let me know that the Messiah, when I was reading at the time, I was 5, that the Messiah had hair wool like mine. And when I saw Master Farrakhan Muhammad, I was like, no, because now I'm old enough to be a part of them, And Wallace, he's in charge. But they had like a split, Well, anyways, I'm old enough to go to one of their meetings, and we knew that Wallace had taken over Muhammad's place, and that he was bringing in white people, but we did not know they were Scientologists. Doing all this studying and all this listening to everyone, I see Wallace brought in the Church of Scientology. At this time, Farrakhan was with Wallace, but then they broke up, and Farrakhan took so many with him. There's so much in between that. And I'm saying all of this to say the Nation of Islam has gone 360 degrees. They've gone back to where they originated from. I will say Elijah Muhammad did not know this. Just like Martin Luther King did not know it, until it was a little too late. No, when I sat with them, I it's a lot of their ways I didn't like, and today it's called behavior modification, and they are behavior specialists. I didn't want my behavior to be modified at that time, so I didn't, like a lot of the rules and regulations. So, and I really did not want to follow massa. And plus, the slavery and all that kind of shit that I had learned about. By this time, I'm like maybe 16 or 17. So, maybe older, I'm not for sure, maybe younger. So, I was told not to come back. And that's why I was told not to go back to a lot of damn places that asked way too many questions. So, they took me home that night, and I never went back. I wasn't intending on going back because they had a pink God. So now let's get to this paper that I found. This is not the actual one I found, but it is another one. I also put in, anytime I find anyone, I put in Aleister Crowley. So Farrakhan came up with Aleister Crowley. He came up with L. Ron Hubbard. He comes up with this Parson guy too. And this Parson guy seems to be like the chain link. He's linked to everyone. Anyway, this reads, the Nation of Islam was founded by Elijah Muhammad, who was instructed by a mysterious person of Arabic background named Wallace Farrakhan Muhammad, who claimed he was God. According to the FBI, Farrakhan had as many as 27 different aliases and was sometimes pretty criminal. Farrakhan initially joined the Moorish Science Temple. I had a feeling that, Scientology, once I found out about Scientology, I had a feeling they had something to do with the Prophet's death, and that this is how Master Farrakhan Muhammad got a hold to some of the knowledge he has. Farrakhan initially joined the Moorish Science Temple. I don't know how he did that, if he is a pink man, unless he was, more so he was a half-breed, a mulatto, because there were mulattoes in the Moorish Science Temple. A quasi-Masonic and pseudo-Islamic organization. I would like to tell you that Prophet Noble Jew, he did not teach Islam. He didn't even teach that Allah was God. He taught about the 7 sisters. He taught about Kali, but you guys do not have the information that he taught about, because if you did, you would not say such horrible things about Kali, and you will know that Allah is not God. According to Peter Lambert Wilson, A Sacred Drift, Essays on the Margin of Islam, Somebody Bay of the Moorish Academy of Chicago, I was born and raised there, claimed that the Drew family had settled in Newark, New Jersey in the early 1800s, and there encountered the master adept, somebody who was visiting the United States in 1882 and 83. The Jews were initiated into such and such movement and supposedly into the Brethren of Sincerity. Now, I don't know how true this is, because I have a whole different background, Noble Drew. As a matter of fact, he was taken from his parents when he was young. And he did go to another land. He left here and went to another land. This is how he found out the information on Allah, and he came back here to give the information to us. Now, but Farrakhan seemed to have been involved in a conspiracy to absorb leadership of that order by having his leader, Noble Drew Ali, killed. Okay, the police beat him up, and then a couple of days later he died. But before Noble Drew Ali was killed, they killed Green Bay and tried to blame it on Noble Drew Ali. That's another story. No one actually talks about Green Bay unless they say bad shit about him. That's because they don't know the truth. And now, I call him Farts, okay? Farts' activities were brought to wider public notice after a major scandal involving an apparent ritual murder in 1932. Reportedly committed by one of his followers. This guy named Robert later confessed that he had committed the murder to bring himself closer to Allah. And see, this is where people get messed up at, the Moorish Science Temple, it was not, and see it says science, it was not about God, it was not about religion. As a matter of fact, at that time we all agreed to be Moors, You also, Black Wall Street was around. Certain things in Philadelphia, New York, Kentucky, and California was going on, and probably in other places too. But these places I actually know about. I don't have to believe this information. I know the information to be true. Now, Kareem had quoted from Ford's booklet titled Secret Rituals of the Lost Foundation of Islam. The believer, see, there you go with the word believer. Next comes the United States. Be stabbed through the heart, see. The unbeliever must be stabbed through the heart. Now that's the same thing as Elvin Hubbard and Farrakhan, but they don't say it so harshly, But it is the same thing, You have to disconnect from your family and all that kind of stuff. See, I'm not going for that. People say Yahweh Ben Yahweh was like that, but that's not true. If it was, then I was really on the outside. Because I lived in, I was a full-time worker. That's when you live in Yahweh's house. And my mom's house burned down. I went to the elder and let him know my mom's house burned down. He knew I needed to go. They made all the arrangements for me to go back to Chicago to my mom. I went there, did what needed to be done, and when I came back, and I was in Richmond, Virginia at the time, when I came back to Richmond, Virginia, I didn't have to call and say, hey, I'm here. Someone was there to meet me. So I was on the phone with my parents, and every now and then with Jenkins, but I even called my grandparents. I called my sisters too, It was no separation from my family, He was there to actually bring families together, not to pull them apart. Okay, so now the unbelievers must be stabbed through the heart. Kareem told the detectives that he intended to carry out more murders, and he called sacrifices. He referred to Father as the gods of Islam. The gods, not one, but more than one, plural. More than one, there's an S. And told the investigators, I had to kill somebody. I could not forsake my gods. When Fard was interviewed, he told detectives, I am the supreme ruler of the universe, resulting in his being placed in straitjacket and padded cell for psychiatric examination. That's true. Don't tell anyone that you're that, But we all are gods. I don't know about paying people. But we all are gods. It's in the scriptures. Say, ye are gods and all of you are children of the Most High. We just do not know how to use our God, the God in us. And now these people have devices and created all this other kind of technology to just snatch the God out of us. And we are not charitable. We become apathetic. However, false religion was a hodgepodge of Islam. Jehovah Witness doctrine, this person doctrines, UFOology, whatever, Christian teachings, Prince Hall, Masonry, so it was filled with everything, even African Americans. Oh, I'm an African, North American Freemasonry composed predominantly of African Americans. It basically sets the history of the occult in reverse. I can't read through this one, okay? Well, an anthropomorphic doctrine. I'm sorry about that. Okay, predominantly of African Americans. It basically set the history of the occult in reverse, where an anthropomorphic, I don't know what that means, I'll look it up later, doctrine is the true Islam. Dealing with melanated people is the true Islam. The sons of God, or Nephilim. Now, when you deal with Nephilim, you're about to go to pink people. A God, a man, and his council in Shambohola, or whatever, explicitly associated with the great white brotherhood of Blavatsky. Its former leader Elijah Muhammad claimed that the book Ezekiel describes a mothership and aircraft built by black scientists in Japan. See, because melanated ones used to be Japanese, now they're pink. Many thousands of years ago. This aircraft, undetectable by radar, still circled the earth and carried powerful weapons which would be used on white America if she dared to harm the members of the Nation of Islam. Well, that proved to be a lie. Because the way they came after Elijah Muhammad, then the members of the Nation of Islam would have been harmed. Farrakhan attributes the merger of the NOI with Scientology to an earlier contact between Fard and Herbert. See? Farrakhan attributes the merger of the NOI Scientology to an earlier contact between Fard and Herbert. I had found a paper that said he came from Scientology. That's why I say they're going 360 degrees. Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard was closely associated with Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons is associated with everyone, who went on to become one of the founders of Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Houston and the Aerojet Corporation. These things also deal with technology that can harm us. Parsons was the leader of the Agape Lodge, the American chapter of Aleister Crowley, OTO. And now, Scientology just uses OT, but not OTO. You'd be surprised what the OTO means. Charles Stanford Jones, or whatever, by his code name, who Crowley considered his magical son, and the one prophesied in the Book of the Law, started a lodge of the OTO in Vancouver. Jones initiated W.T. Smith started his own group, Agape Lodge, in California in 1930. I wish I'd known that. I would never have come to California. In the words of Francis King, for the next 10 years until Crowley's death in 1947, California was the main center of OTO activity. California and Florida for America, to me, seems to be the main centers for Scientology, and they deal with OT. Parsons became obsessed with the Book of the Law and began a regular correspondence with Crowley, referring to him as most beloved father and himself as the son John. Now, when you get into religions, this is what they do. It is like the leader of the religion doesn't teach the followers to be leaders. It just teaches them to follow him. And the leader of the group must also, because the leader of the group will be a BS, bullshitter, which also means he's a behavior specialist. This is 22 minutes and I'll be back.